Good morning, my friends, and happy Thursday. It's the 19th of May today, and it is actually my nephew Caleb's birthday today. He's 15 years old, and it just makes me feel so old. I just can't believe that boy is 15 years old. Like, I remember the day he was born and all the times that I played with him outside and when he was a little toddler and woo! But anyway, he is big 15-year-old today, so happy birthday, Caleb. Today I am back in front of the embroidery machine and I'm going to pretty much do exactly what I did in my last vlog and do a little embroidery on a jumper that I have that, you know, it needs a little bit of zhuzhing, it needs a little bit of love, and, you know, it's a good way to sort of like upcycle and reuse a jumper that, you know, was great once and now needs to be great again. I don't know whether you can tell, it's getting colder here in Australia now. We are in autumn and I don't know whether it's officially the start of winter, but usually winter for us starts the 1st of June. So as most of my viewers are now going into summer, we are going into winter. So rugging up and yeah, getting all of the jumpers in my wardrobe ready to wear and cute and stuff. So I've been trying to find a design that isn't Disney. I have so much Disney apparel, I don't need any more. So I thought for this jumper I wanted to do something a little bit different. Something still quite cute and sweet, but not Disney. So I was looking on one of my favorite embroidery websites, which is Urban Threads. I mention them all the time. I've done a couple of their designs before and they're just so great. I think they are the best designs that you can buy online. They're just so professional. So I've found two designs that I'm thinking of doing. I'll show you the jumper first and then I'll show you the designs. So this is the jumper that we're going to be reworking today. You may have seen me wear this a couple of times in vlogs from last year, but it's just a really basic like sweater jumper that I got from ASOS last year. And then I ironed on this Minnie Mouse Tsum Tsum motif, but it's peeling away and I wasn't really always that happy with the placement of it. So I'm pretty sure this is just going to peel off. Hopefully it doesn't like leave any residue and I'll possibly repurpose this for something. But I'm going to take her off, and like my pink jumper that I did in my vlog last time, I'm going to do a design in the middle of the jumper here, just around the chest area. And yeah, just do something a little bit different, not Disney, but still quite sweet. So I have these two designs in my wish list, the Brontosaurus and the little kitty, that I'm trying to decide between and I don't know what to do. So we'll look at the Brontosaurus first, and that's what he is. Look how cute, he's so sweet. The size that I need to get is the smaller size because my machine will only do 4 by 4 inches. So that's what it will kind of look like. And then the Born to be Mild kitty, it looks like that, so cute. I do really like this one, but I'm not a cat person. I wish it was a dog, but it's still really, really cute. I love like this flower wreath around it. And you know, I'm pretty mild in nature. And yeah, so I don't know which one to do. I'm torn between the Brontosaurus and the kitty. So that is my current dilemma. I am going to have a look at both of their color charts and see which ones I think would go better. I think color wise the Brontosaurus one, because it's so like bright and beautiful, I think that would stand out the best on this dark sort of charcoal color that the jumper is. So I'm kind of leaning towards that, but I'm just going to check my colors and see if I can get like colors that are similar to it. If not, then we'll go for the kitty, but I think I'm leaning towards the dinosaur. You know, why not? I mean, am I into dinosaurs? Not really, but I really like the colors in that and it's just a bit different. Okay, so I think we're ready to go. I have bought the pattern. I have picked out all of the threads that I'm going to use. There's 15 threads altogether, so it's going to be a lengthy make, I think. And I have just popped the hoop and interfacings onto the jumper and like positioned it all in place. And I'm pretty happy with the way that went. So again, we're going to do the design in the center of the jumper, and I've measured 5 inches from the neckline, which is here, and so this is the center of the design, hopefully. And I used the little grid thing that came with the machine, and this is really helpful, I have found, to be able to like center everything. So center the hoop, and then once it's on the machine, I use the needle to center it with the center mark here. Interfacings I'm using again are the Solvay on the front, and then on the back I've just used a cutaway again. Here is my lovely lineup of threads. I'm using a mixture of sim threads, a couple that I haven't used yet, and also the Gutermann Sulky threads. Both of these brands are really great quality, and I'm not afraid to mix and match the brands. It's really just the color that I'm trying to sort of match. And then I have my little list of all of my colors in order so I don't get lost. Before I turn the machine on, I'm actually going to change the needle because I haven't changed that in a while, and then we'll get going. So I'm going to change the needle using the needles that came with the machine. These are Triumph brand, and it's the 75/11 size, and these are for embroidery. I have changed the needle before, so the needle that's in the machine now is one of these, and it works really well. Okay, so we're off and running. I'm onto the second color already, and it's just doing the little sort of flowers on the side here and the greens. I had a look at the pattern before, and it's got about 10,000 jump stitches in it. I am like over exaggerating a little bit when I say 10,000, but it's got a lot of jump stitches, so I have to be really quite on it because I like to cut the jump stitches as I go so they don't get like caught up underneath everything. So this one's going to keep me on my toes. That's okay. I mean, I'm not really all that worried about it because I like standing and watching, but it just means it's going to take a little longer just cutting the jump stitches before going on to the next color. But you know, it's a first world problem, but yeah, I enjoy it anyway, so I don't know why I'm complaining. Now when I say jump stitches, these are the stitches that I mean. This is a stitch jumping from one design to the other, and I like to cut these off before I go on to the next color, just so the next color and other threads don't get caught up, and then it's like a whole thing trying to cut it all down. And yeah, so I'm going to cut all of these threads away before moving on to the next color. Alright, so we've finished all of the greenery bits. Now we're going on to the dinosaur itself. So it's a brontosaurus that we're making. You can see the outline here. So we should have a quite filled in kind of bronty happening. And then it will go in and do all of the like detail bits. I brought a bigger picture up on the screen, so we'll do all the pink part, and then it will come in and do all of this like orangey sort of highlights, and then it will finish off with like these sort of leafy kind of bits, and then it will be done. Okay, we're making some good progress with our dinosaur. We're into our highlights, and he's looking really cool. Gorgeous. I'm so happy with this. The update, dinosaur's done, and now we're just doing all like the little foliage around the edges. Well, I think it's looking good. It's taking time cutting all of these jump stitches away as I go, but we're getting there, and it looks good. Happy. And she's all done, looking good. I'm super happy with that. I'm just going to cut away all of these jump threads, take the hoop off, and then remove all of the interfacings, all the stabilizers, and then we'll see what it looks like. I've got the dog in, and he's got his pig, so this bit might be a little bit noisy, just to, you know, give you a bit of warning. Hi Charlie, you okay? Say hi. Say hi to everyone. The tail's wagging, so he's saying hi. Hello. Well, here we are, our finished jumper all done. I've popped it just on my little daisy mannequin, and just to sort of see how it sort of sits on the body, because I'm nice and comfy in my cardigan and I don't want to take it off. But I'm really happy with it. I managed to sort of peel away most of the solvay, but that'll all sort of disappear once I wash it. I'm really happy with the design. Because my machine only does 4x4 designs, it's quite simple, and the more sort of bigger the design is, the more sort of complex and kind of finished the design looks. But I'm really happy with it. I love how bright it is against the dark charcoal jersey. It was actually one of the reasons why I chose to do this one, because I knew that it would really pop. So that's what it looks like from a little bit farther away. I really like, again, the design pops. You can see the outline of the hoop, but I think that will disappear once I wash it and press it. But I'm really happy with it. What a great little afternoon project with the noisy dog in the background. Are you gonna squeak it? Anyway, I am now going to go make a cup of tea because my fingers are cold. It's getting to the point where fingers get cold during the day. So a cup of tea, and oh, I just remembered I made cookies yesterday. I made white choc chip cookies and they are delicious. So I'm going to have tea and a cookie. Happy days. Good afternoon, my friends, and happy Monday. I think it's the 30th of May, which is insane. We are 6 months into the year. And what have I done? I feel like nothing. But anyway, hello and welcome to Monday. It is freezing today. It is so cold. It's like icy, and it's going to be like this all week. It is cold and dark and grey, and don't be surprised, it's rainy. It's just started raining again, which is just making it so much colder. I've had to put on my big sewing light because it's just so dark. It's crazy. But anyway, I hope you're all doing well. We're all good on this side of the camera, just busy living life and not sewing very much, but that's a whole other story. But yeah, things are good and we're all well, and life is just going on as it's going on. Today I made it my mission to dig out a very special quilt that I made a couple of years ago, and I wanted to get it out because it is a very special week/weekend coming up, celebrating the Queen's Jubilee. I'm sure you've all heard of it, and you'll all know just how much I love like Britain and London and everything that comes with it. I'm a major Anglophile, so I made it my mission to dig out my beautiful Union Jack quilt that I made in 2019, which is the year that I went over to the UK, and I thought I'd get it out and pop it up here in my sewing room to celebrate the Queen's Jubilee. So for those of you who are new here or have forgotten what the quilt is, it is this one. So this is all foundation paper pieced Union Jacks, and I've made it using all different types of fabric, so it's really scrappy and fun. The one in the middle here is more like traditional, and then the label on the back is again the more traditional colors, and just down the bottom it says Union Jack Quilt August 2019, made by Amanda. And then I backed it with this sort of cityscape fabric that has Big Ben or Elizabeth Tower, as well as the London Eye, which we got to go on. We got to see the outside of Big Ben or Elizabeth Tower. When we went, it was still in scaffolding and I didn't get to hear it bong, but it is on my bucket list to go back to London and hear Big Ben chime. It will happen. Put it out in the universe, manifest it, it will happen. So I'm gonna pop some little thingies on this, what is it, hangers, and replace it here. Another quilt chat. Who remembers this quilt? This is another oldie but goldie quilt. Again, if you've been here for a while or maybe you even participated in this quilt along. But this is the quilt from, I think it was my second quilt along that I did on my channel. It is the half square triangle sampler quilt along, and we made this quilt, I think it was back in, I think 2015, so a long time ago. Oh my gosh, it was like, wow, we're going on 7 years ago. How is that 7 years old? Oh my gosh. I'm having a slight existential crisis. Is that what it's called? Existential crisis? Anyway, I'm gonna take this quilt down and pop my hangers up, and we'll hang up this beautiful quilt in celebration of the Queen's Jubilee. So the little hangers that I like to use are these ones. I got them from IKEA. I think they're for like trousers, but I quite like them for quilts. The little hook here just comes undone like that and then opens up, and it has like felt on the inside, and I find that they just clamp onto the quilt a lot better. They are quite nice to look at, that nice sort of like woodenness to it. They're nice and light as well, and they also don't put like any dents or creases into the actual quilt. The only problem that I do have with them is if you're hanging a really heavy quilt, the quilt can slip out of it, so just got to be careful with that. So let's clamp this on. I've just been listening to Harry Styles' new album. I think it's called Harry's House, and it's really good. I'm a huge Harry Styles fan, and his new album is like great. Ta-da! Looks great. I love it. Here's a little bit of trivia for you. This lovely Union Jack quilt actually came to the UK with us. I did have planned to like photograph it like in front of all the London landmarks and stuff, but it just didn't happen. And we were just so busy and flat out doing everything else that just didn't happen. But it came to the UK, so that's good. So I wanted to chat a little bit more about my half square triangle sampler quilt that I've just shown you. There is a reason why I had it hanging up, and it's because I think I'm like 99% sure that I'm going to sell it. Since the roof in the sewing room got fixed, I've been trying to do a lot of like tidying up, culling things, sort of moving things along that I don't use anymore, or sort of not so much taking up space, but just doesn't really serve a purpose. And this is one of those things. It's a quilt that I don't use. It just hangs on my little ladder here, and I think it's time to go to someone who is actually going to use it. Now, it is a really beautiful quilt, and I'll be really sad to say goodbye to it, but I think it's time to let someone else enjoy it. Although it is 7 years old since I made it. I finished this in December 2015. It's still like in perfect condition. It is a really great lap size quilt, and it's made with some beautiful cotton and steel fabrics, and this range that I used was, oh man, I can't remember. I'll have to put up on the screen. And then the solid fabrics are RJR solid fabrics. So over the next day or so, I'm going to pop this onto my Etsy store, and it will be available up there if you're interested in buying it. Now, I do get a lot of people asking me why I don't sell my quilts, or are you ever going to sell your quilts, etc, etc. And the reason why I don't really sell my quilts is I find it really hard to price them, and to price them at a good price range where it reflects the time and the effort that's gone into it. It pays for the materials and labor, and also like postage as well, and also paying the, I don't know, like the intellectual property of making it. I mean, making this quilt and then also doing the tutorials and then making the whole quilt along series, it took a lot of time. I think it almost took like the whole year to make this quilt. So it's then trying to reflect that in the price, and also trying to gauge what people are willing to pay for something like this. I mean, this is 100% handmade. I mean, of course, using sewing machines and also finishing off by hand. So yeah, I find pricing quilts really, really hard. And then when I price it at a point where I think is correct. It's then getting the person that's buying it or getting interest in someone buying it at the price that you've set really hard. I mean, I think just like you, I'm sure I've been stung before with people asking me to make a quilt for $50, and like that's a real sort of like sting, and also in my opinion just like a little bit rude as well. I think it can also kind of feel like not like belittling, but like a little bit of a slap in the face, like the effort and the yeah, just everything that goes into making a quilt doesn't cost $50. I actually do have a couple of other quilts that I'm thinking about selling, and yeah, the reason why it's taking me a long time to sort of really commit to selling quilts is just pricing them at the right price and getting back what I think is the quilt is worth. So I would love to know your thoughts on selling quilts and how much you think quilts should be sold for, how much you're willing to spend on a quilt, and just your own experiences in making and selling quilts. I'd love to know. Just, yeah, have a chat down in the comments, and it will not only help me, but it'll help other people who watch and read the comments. So let me know. I'm always open to learn new things and to hear other people's opinions, and go from there. But apart from that, if you are interested in purchasing my beautiful half square triangle sampler quilt from the Quilt Along series that I did on the channel 7 years ago, oh my gosh, then yeah, it will be available on Etsy either now as you're watching or very, very soon. And also, if you're interested in watching that Quilt Along series and seeing what all the blocks are and stuff, I will link it in the description box below and you can go have a look. I don't know how cringy they'll be because it was 7 years ago and I was also 7 years younger than what I am now. I'm sure I have a few less grey hairs back then. But anyway, I'm going to say goodbye for the day and say goodbye to this month. May has been cold and rainy and not all that creative. I embroidered 2 jumpers, this Mickey one and then the dinosaur one that you saw at the start of the vlog. But other than that, I haven't done anything. I mean, I finished a couple of swoons and that's it. I still have 2 more to go. Is that 2? Yeah, but all in good time. It'll get done. So thank you very much for joining me and watching and supporting, and your comment on selling quilts and anything else that you want to comment on. I hope you all have a lovely day and I'll see you all again very, very soon.